welcome to the Learning Curve. Today we're going to give you a sneak peek of our new teachers and the new safety measures that we will be implementing in our schools. Let's begin with our first year teacher training. On August 18th, over 100 new teachers congregated at Northside High to begin their introduction to Onslow County schools. New teachers had the opportunity to learn many tools on our digital platform to use in their classroom. Our new teachers also had the opportunity to hear great advice from the Teacher of the Year, Assistant Principal of the Year, and the Principal of the Year.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Onslow County. I'm so glad that you chose to come to Onslow County. And you know what? It's going to be a great year. William A. Ward once stated, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." Raise your hand if you think that you are going to be a great teacher. That's right. You are going to be great, and you're going to inspire all the children that come into your classroom and come into your classroom every single day. You will be inspiring them. There will be days that you may feel like you're not doing enough. You may feel like you're just not reaching that child. Keep on working. Don't give up on that child. Imagine if someone had given up on us. Imagine that. Don't doubt yourself. Listen to that still voice inside of you. As the younger folks were saying, some of you are really young. You got this. Know that there are people in your school, from the custodians to the secretary, who will help you. Your mentor, your teammate, your grade chairperson, someone will be there to help you. As Michael Jackson would sing, "You are not alone, I am here with you." Find that person. It's going to be a great year because you're going to get the parents involved in your classroom. Parents can be the best advocates. Many of them would come and they would be willing to volunteer. They'd be willing to come and donate something to your classroom. Just ask them. Oftentimes, we see the children longer than the parents. So we have a responsibility to take care of the children as if they were our own. Another point that I would like to make is that we need to reflect upon our day. I think it would be a great year because if you write down 3 things that went right that day, reflect on what made those things right. What part did you or someone else play in making it right? Also, think about what may have gone wrong. What didn't quite go right that day? Write down what could have been done differently to make it right. As I close, I want to share this story with you. It is a very important life lesson that a philosophy teacher taught his students. Some of you may have heard this story before. The teacher cleared off his desk and placed on top of it a few items. One of the items was an empty mason jar. He proceeded to fill it up with golf balls until he could fit no more. He looked at the classroom and asked the students if they agreed that the jar is full. Every student agreed that the jar was indeed full. The teacher then picked up a box of small pebbles and poured them into the jar with the golf balls. The pebbles filled all the openings in between the golf balls. He asked the students again if the jar was full. Once again, they agreed. Now the teacher picked up a bag of sand and poured it into the mason jar. The sand filled in all of the empty space left between the golf balls and pebbles. He asked the class twice again if the jar was full. The students agreed it was technically full. Finally, the teacher pulled out 2 cups of coffee from under his desk and poured both of them into the jar, filling the empty space between the sand. Now the students began to laugh and wondering how far this was going to go. The teacher waited until the laughter stopped. "I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life," he started. "The golf balls represent the important things: your family, children, health, friends, and passions. If everything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles represent the other things in life that matter, such as your job, house, and car. The sand, that is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand in first, there is no room for the pebbles or golf balls. The same goes for life. If you spend all of your time and energy on the small stuff, you will never have room for the things that are most important. Pay attention to the important things in your life. Enjoy time with your family. Go to dinner with your spouse or significant other. Play games with your kids. There will always be time to clean the house or take yourself shopping. Take care of the golf balls first, the things that really matter. The rest is just sand. You are dismissed." Before the students left, one shouted, "You never mentioned what the coffee represents." The professor smiled and said, "Well, I'm glad you asked. The coffee just shows that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room to have a cup of coffee with a friend." As you start this school year, think of the golf balls as the children in your classroom. They are what's most important. The other things matter, but don't let them consume you. Have fun, and it's going to be a great year. Thank you.
The beginning of a new school year is always exciting, but when the beginning of the school year is coupled with the start of your teaching career, then the excitement is doubled. There are so many things going through your mind, even as you sit here with us today. Some of you have seen your classrooms, and you're wondering, how in the world am I going to get 7 bulletin boards decorated before open house? Or maybe you will see your classroom for the first time this afternoon, and now you're wondering, do I even have a bulletin board? And I guarantee that in the midst of yesterday and today's information overload, random thoughts about bulletin boards, the number of desks in your classroom, or where you're supposed to park each day are just not unusual as you're preparing for your first year in teaching. The truth is, there is much to learn this year, and there are so many people to meet. And because you have chosen to work for Onslow County Schools, you will have an abundance of opportunities to grow as a professional educator. That is exactly what I have found to be true since my first year in the Onslow County school system. I was hired to work for Onslow County Schools as the journalism teacher at Jacksonville High School. I wasn't a first-year teacher, but I was new to the system. And truthfully, it doesn't matter whether you are a brand new teacher or a new employee with teaching experience. It is still exciting, a little scary, and overall amazing. It's going to be your classroom, your students, your colleagues. And even as I prepare for the opening days as a first-year principal, I feel exactly the same way. So if it's all right, I want to share a few things with you today that I have learned since becoming an Onslow County Schools employee. Number 1, you will always remember the very first person who sincerely and warmly welcomes you to your new school. For me, it was John Chester, a math teacher at JHS. Number 2, you will face many challenges from many directions, but there will be people to reach out to for assistance. And for you this year, it will most often be your mentor, an experienced teacher who can help you through the rough spots. Number 3, everyone takes effective teacher training as an Onslow County Schools licensed employee. This isn't a judgment on your teacher preparation program. What this does is ensure that all of the district's professional educators have a common language and a starting point to understand the fundamental beliefs of this school system. Number 4, this is a visionary school system. And if you are motivated to excel, you have picked the right place to start your career. You will have many opportunities to grow and develop. Seek them out and embrace each new experience. If you learn one strategy, one activity, one approach that can make a difference for one student, it was time well spent. And 5, treat everyone in the building with respect, from your colleague next door to the lunchroom lady, the custodian, and the secretary-treasurer. Everyone has a job to do, and it takes every single one of us working together to create a learning environment where our students can thrive. So I leave you with one final thought from Maya Angelou that I believe to be so true, and as teachers, we can never forget this. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Let me first start by saying congratulations. Congratulations on being selected to serve in Onslow County Schools, and congratulations for your opportunity to work among some of the finest educators in the state of North Carolina. I joined Onslow County Schools in 2002 as a military spouse and a new member of the Jacksonville community. As a military spouse, I've had the opportunity to work and to travel all over the world and to study as well. And when my husband was preparing for his military retirement, he said, "Helen, where do you want to settle at?" And without hesitation, I said, "I want to go back to Onslow County Schools." So I can speak confidently to you today as I tell you that you are about to embark on a journey that is going to be challenging, rewarding, and full of opportunities. So I was asked today to give you a couple of tips for first-year teachers. So I'm going to give you 5 really important tips based on my own expertise as well as feedback from some of the novice teachers at Carolina Forest. So I asked them, what do you wish that somebody had told you as you sat in this training yourself 2 or 3 years ago? So we came up with 5. The first is being organized. I can't stress this enough. So in the last day and a half, you've had workshops on, and if I read it all correctly, USA test prep, differentiation, classroom management, CIA, Rubicon, one-on-one initiatives, and I've probably missed something. And you haven't even gotten to our schools yet, where we're waiting to tell you about all kind of cool stuff at the schools as well. You're gonna have to stay on top of your organizational strategies in order to manage all of this. You're gonna have more usernames and passwords in the next week than you've had in the last 5 years. Now, organizational tools are going to look different for all of you. For me, that means using my Microsoft Outlook calendar to manage my day, from the tasks that I have due to my schedule, just important reminders. I live by that calendar. I also have a journal that I keep important notes and reminders, just things to keep me on track, and I live with that journal. It doesn't leave my side at any time. So that's going to look different for each and every one of you, but you just need to walk in knowing that you're going to have to embrace some sort of organizational tool to manage all of these initiatives. Number 2, be an effective communicator. Okay, so communication means 2 things: sending and receiving information. You are about to receive a lot of information when you walk through the doors of those schools, and it's important that you effectively manage that. Information that you're sending, communication that you're sending, is going to come in the form of person-to-person conversations, parent conferences, IEPs, PEPs, I could go on and on, emails, text messages, phone calls. The communications that you're going to have with your stakeholders are going to be numerous, and it's important that you're effective and that you manage that. My favorite example of effective communication was about 2 years ago. I tasked a teacher with doing something for me. I said, "Hey, I need you and your team to take care of this." And I thought I explained it really well. Well, she left and she drafted an email to the team that said, "I have no idea what Mrs. Gross is talking about, but maybe one of you can figure it out." And she mistakenly sent it to me. Well, fortunately, I have a good sense of humor, and so I use that as an opportunity to reply and say, thanks so much for asking for clarification. Let me explain. But you wouldn't want to get caught up in that situation with a parent or, God forbid, a group of parents on your distribution list. So when you're drafting anything, especially in writing, you're going to want to make sure that you check it, double check it, perhaps even triple check it to make sure that it doesn't have spelling errors, that you're sending it to the correct person. A final note on communication, 16-point purple font is not ever okay. We want to avoid that, nor is highlighting, underlining, or writing an email in all bold because you want to make a point. So if it's that important, we probably want to pick up the phone and just have a conversation as opposed to putting it in writing. So that's effective communication. Number 3, embracing your mistakes and reflecting on your professional practice. Reflective practitioners, that takes time. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's something that you're going to have to practice. None of us are perfect. None of us are expecting you to be perfect either. We're all going to make mistakes. If you ask my secretary, she'd probably tell you that I've already made about 10 today, and that's okay. What's important is that we reflect and that we grow from those mistakes. I have a 40-minute commute to and from work. And some people may say, that sounds dreadful. Oh my goodness, you're in the car for almost an hour and a half a day. Well, I use that time in the afternoon. I turn off the radio, turn off the phone, and I think about my day. I think about what I did really well, and I think about what I need to fix for tomorrow. I pat myself on the back for my accomplishments and the things that I did well, and I reflect on the things that perhaps I need to do better tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean I beat myself up about it, because I don't. It just means I reflect upon it and I think, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do better, or tomorrow I'm going to take a different approach. You also need to embrace the feedback that you're going to receive from your administrators and your mentors. Feedback is a good thing. When you have your observations, and you're going to have at least 4 formal observations this year and probably dozens of informal observations, you're going to receive feedback, and you should look for that feedback in those recommendations. It's an awesome opportunity for you to refine your professional practice based on recommendations of seasoned educators who have been in your shoes for a long time. So not only should you expect it, but you should actually be seeking that sort of feedback. Number 4, don't be afraid to ask for help. I have seen in my career more than one teacher crash and burn because they had too much pride to ask for help when they needed it. We all need help. I asked for help writing this speech. I asked my novice teachers, what do you wish somebody had told you? And I used their feedback to generate these tips for you today. I ask for help in everything that I do because I'm not an expert in all areas. Don't be afraid to ask your colleagues for help, for assistance, your administrators, your secretaries. Everybody is there. We all want you to be successful, so don't be afraid to ask for that help. Don't let your pride get in the way of your success. And finally, number 5, find your balance. You are excited and you're enthusiastic, and we love that about first-year teachers. It doesn't get any better than that. But we also want you to have a balance that Sandra was talking about. We want you to have that balance because we don't want you burned out by Christmas time. Now, don't get me wrong, we want you actively engaged in our schools and in our communities. We want to see that active engagement, but we also want you to have a balance so that you're successful this year. So my last words to you would just be to welcome and to embrace each opportunity and blessing that arrives in your classroom each day, and we are looking forward to working with you and seeing the wonderful things that happen in your classrooms. Thank you.
We are very excited about our new teachers for the Onslow County School System. We started first-year teacher training this morning. They are so excited, so energetic, seem to have a really good grasp of the things that they want to achieve this year. And probably the most important, they have a really good grasp of what they want to be able to offer to children. 2014-2015 is going to be a great school year.
Well, I just moved here from Michigan, so I'm looking forward to seeing my classroom, getting to know my kids, and all the fun labs we're going to be doing this year.
I am so excited. I've met a lot of the staff, and they seem so friendly, and they seem like they're very in tune with each other. I'm ready to meet my students in my class. I've actually had the opportunity to go already and start getting my room in order, and it's coming along, but I'm excited to get over there and start meeting with my mentor and planning for this year.
Well, as you can see, I'm a late bloomer. I'm looking forward to this new journey. My wife's been a teacher in the county many years, and I'm looking forward to teaching art to students at Jacksonville, and maybe bringing art through them to the community.
I'm really excited about working with my students, getting to learn my classroom, my fellow teachers, building those relationships. It's my first year teaching, so I'm just really excited to integrate technology into my room.
I'm really just looking forward to getting the students ready for whatever they choose after high school, because that's pretty much what I want to do with my teaching anyway. I just want to make everything relevant for daily life.
I'm looking forward to starting off with a brand new batch of students, getting my classroom set up, working with my teachers, using Edimodo in my classroom this year.
Have you been thinking about preschool for your child? In Onslow County, preschool is funded through the state and federal government and is offered to families with children who are or will be age 3 or 4 years old by August 31st of the school year. School admittance is determined and offered to children and families that meet specific criteria mandated by the governmental funding sources. Only parents, foster parents, guardians, or legal custodians of a child can apply for them to attend preschool. Application is done by interview, and applicants must bring with them and provide the following documentation at the time of the application interview: a certified birth certificate of the child and a complete immunization or shot record of the child from a doctor or health provider. Proof of you and your child's residency in Onslow County can be validated only with an electric bill with your name and address shown, or a water bill indicating the same information. When a bill is not in a parent or legal guardian's name, a notarized statement from the person whose name is on the bill must accompany the bill, and it can be used as proof of residency. Additionally, rental agreements stating the inclusion of water and electric services as a part of the rental fee may also be used as proof of residency. All household income received in the previous 12 months is required to be provided. This information can be in the form of the most recent income tax returns, 1099s, W-2s, or military leave and earnings, college grants, scholarships, tuition assistance, GI benefits, Social Security benefits for anyone in the home to include disability, retirement, WFFA or unemployment, any type of public assistance or child support for all children in the home. Actual forms must be provided. In fact, all documentation and paperwork must be available and provided at the time of your application interview. And legal guardians, please don't forget your legal documentation of your status as legal custodian. If you do not have the written paperwork or documentation or the correct documentation, your application cannot be processed, and you may risk not securing a place for your child in preschool. Also note that your child is not required to attend the lengthy application process. For more information about how you can complete an application for your child to attend preschool, please call us or consult our website.
Onslow County Schools has implemented several new safety measures. Dusty Rhodes, can you tell us some of these new measures that we're taking in our schools?
Great. The first thing our teachers and faculty and parents are going to notice this year when they walk in the office is a new visitor management software. That's this laptop here. And what they will do is each parent will be required to bring their driver's license with them when they come to check in and check out. Okay, first thing you're going to do, you're going to check visitor.
Okay.
And screen's going to pop up. And you type in your last name and your first name.
So if you've been here before, it kind of saves your name?
Yes, it'll save your name. And then it's going to ask you to scan your driver's license. Place your driver's license here. It grabs it. Click Scan ID. And at this point, it's checking against the National Sex Offender Registry. If everything's okay, it pops up with your name and your birth date. You confirm that. That's me. Press OK. Now you're going to type a reason why you're here. I'm here for a meeting on campus. And now I'm going to press check in. And when you press check in, it's going to take your picture.
Oh.
And now our label is printed out. Tear it off. And we are good to go.
So you're telling me that you have to have a driver's license when you come to the office?
That's correct. I feel like that is a minimal requirement for student safety.
So I've also known there's some more safety measures that you need to tell us about.
That's correct. This year we've also implemented a Sielox lockdown system. It is a blueprint of your school, and we can watch classrooms pop up in real time in either a red or green color or other colors to let us know that we have serious problems going on campus, which also ties into we have a red panic button installed in every office that connects direct to the police department. You're no longer having to pick up the phone and describe the incident. You pull the button and they're on the way.
So it sounds like we're being very proactive. Is there anything else, Dusty?
Yeah, I feel like this is just giving another peace of mind, anything to keep our students and faculty safe. And for any other information regarding storms, outages, or anything like that, please visit our website.
Another thing that's happening in Onslow County Schools is PBL training, which stands for Project-Based Learning, which is for experienced teachers to get resources to use in their classroom.
Well, I'm an instructional coach this year, and the reason I came to PBL is I want to help teachers improve their instruction. So the way to do that is to think of project-based learning to get the kids to have more ownership in their learning, to make deeper inquiry to what they're learning, and to also be creative and collaborate with their teammates.
Kristen Camps from the Buck Institute for Education. She's putting out PBL 101, Project-Based Learning 101. It's a partnership with Project-Based Math. Teachers are gathered here for a 3-day professional development, and what they're doing is they're formulating different projects that they're going to do that are math-based in the classroom.
The PBL workshop here, I've had the opportunity to collaborate with general ed teachers and AIG teachers. And in my group specifically, we're planning a PBL unit that we will extend down for the special ed students. And it's an opportunity for me to work with other teachers at other schools and to plan really thorough units that are fun and interesting and engaging, and they want to do it.
Thank you for joining us on The Learning Curve. See you next time.